Good morning, everyone. Just a quick video, hopefully. Just wanted to kind of touch base on my video from last night about the changes. I've read through comments. I'm reading through the ones from this morning that I hadn't seen since I went to bed last night. And I wanted to make sure that, because there was one comment that I read yesterday that left me thinking, gosh, I hope that person doesn't think that I wasn't offended by the change to the PRV, because believe me, that's what set me off. I am very upset by that. And I'm not going to change my mind about being upset about that. That's one of the biggest reasons I'm contemplating whether I'm staying or not. But I also try to view things through, I guess, the lens of, I don't want to say the career, because I've never been a career person. I've been a person who has to work for the household, for the family. It's what's good for my family, so that's what I've done. I'm not a career-oriented person. I'm not one that needs to get, I kind of did when I was younger, but I reached that particular level, and then I was like, whatever. But anyways, having worked in the payroll industry for 30 years, I see a lot. Okay, I see a lot. I've experienced a lot of things. I've seen decisions that were made. One of the comments I read this morning was the person was upset because they've known for a while, yet they were on their trip, and yeah, I've seen that kind of stuff. I've witnessed it. It's in the industry, in the business, right? That's why I say it is a business, and they're always going to look out for the top tier, right? In any business, right? Sure, you have maybe board of directors, stakeholders, people, if it's a public company, they have people who have stock that they're stockholders and stuff. So it's in pretty much every industry. Think about it. It's the low man on the pole that gets the shaft, right? It's the work is put on their backs. Sure, the higher ups, they have responsibilities. They have, they're supposed, people talk about in the Bible with male headship and the patriarchy and all that stuff, but it's supposed to work that way. It's supposed to be that someone is responsible, right? So you have a manager who has a manager who has a manager, let's say. That those people above all profit or gain, whether it be monetary or prestige or whatever, they gain from the people below them, right? Because if you are a good worker and you do your job and you perform and you show results, well, that looks good on the person above that, who in turn looks good on the person above that. And it's always been that way. And there's a reason that they have things called golden parachutes or parachute clauses and stuff like that. And sure, people above you tend to make more than you, right? There are some people in some different groups where I've seen where managers make less than the people below them, but a lot of that has to do with, like I said, the people below them make this sure, they have more responsibilities. A lot of times they have maybe a higher education in the sense that, in order to perform certain jobs, you had to have gone to school for certain things, right? You can't just do them. But, again, if you do your job and you do well, then the person above you looks better, which when they get reviewed, they're looking better because of their team and stuff. So, do I agree with the 20%? No, because it was promised, right? First job after college, after my 90 days, they didn't want to give me my raise. And I was like, wait a minute, you told me when you hired me that you would, right? And they knew from the way I spoke, I didn't yell, didn't whatever, but I presented the facts, and I think they could tell that you either give me, and it wasn't a very big raise, you either give me that raise that you promised me or I'm walking, right? And I hadn't been there that long. They probably could have just said, okay, she walks, right? But they didn't. They gave me the raise, which really was, minuscule. It was more like shut up money. I went to a place where, we talked about bonuses and stuff, and man, the very first bonus I was supposed to get, that's when they decided to revamp the system, and I no longer qualified. It happens, right? All these things in business, that's the way they are. And that's why I say it is a business. And, I think they feel like they have the upper hand, right? Because we don't make that much for them. We can say, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore and I'm going to leave. But let's look at those people who leave, right? Half would be in the boat that I'm contemplating, that if I leave, right? I won't purchase again. I won't have a club. They won't make a single dollar from me after that. But then there are those who would leave and, would still make some purchases, still have a club. Well, in which case you're still giving them money. You're still, providing for the pyramid. And you're right. If you're not willing to give up the cents and the things, then you don't. And that's the choice you make. And, but for someone like me who says that they would walk away, they know that there's another group of people who will start, right? It's one of the reasons a lot of times you don't necessarily want to leave your job, just, get up and leave, because they will replace you. Every person is replaceable. Doesn't matter where you land on the ladder, you are replaceable. Because at some point you will be replaced. You won't live forever. So you are replaceable, and they know that there's another group of people whoever will convince them, hey, why don't you try to do this and you can make some money, and maybe eventually something like this will happen to them too, and then they'll be like, I can't believe they did this and I'm going to leave, and they'll feel like, okay, well, the next group of people will come in and we'll keep having them. The problem is we can't stop that. That's the problem, is we can't tell customers, you know what, for 2 months, don't buy a single thing. Everybody, don't buy a single thing. Don't join. Don't do. We can't stop that, right? There was a reason why many years ago, a group of employees decided that they wanted to protect their benefits and protect their pay and things like that, and they did a certain thing. We can't do that, but because for one, we're not employees, so they say we're not employees, but as a independent contractor, I should be able to do a lot of things. Sure, I can have a party whenever I want, and but I can't do some other things. You tell me I can't, or I'm in trouble and I'm going to get kicked out. Oh, that to me sounds like an employee, not an independent contractor. Anyways, I guess I woke up and I read these things, and it just kind of refueled that fire in me. But I just want to remind you that, yeah, they're showing that they are a business, that we're just, you ever felt like when you go to your job, like, I'm just a number, right? They don't even know who I am. They don't care about what I'm going through or how much work I have. Some people, I was in a position once where they decided that, at the time I was doing just payroll. This was many years ago at another company. I was just doing payroll, and I say just, right? I was just doing payroll, and they decided to let go of the person who was the oh my gosh, the general cashier, right? So you're in charge of the vault. You do all the deposits. You count the money. You give out change to the employees in the business that need cash for doing stuff. They decided to let that person go, and they decided, oh, Etta can fit that in. She can make that work in her job. And I told the person, I didn't sign up for this. Like, I didn't want to do both. And I basically was told, either you do it or it's insubordination and we'll let you go. Well, I was at a point in my life then where I couldn't afford to do that. So I said, okay. And then I started looking, right? Took me a little while, but, so we have to remember that we're just a number sometimes, and that's I know people say, oh, they care, we're a family or whatever. Come on, if you were family, you wouldn't say, give me back that money. Give me back that money. You didn't make your bed, give me that money. You didn't do this, give me that money. That's not family, or at least it shouldn't be. I get it. It's a business, and we have to make a decision just like an employee would. If it works for you, then keep doing it if that's what you want. And if you're not happy, either figure out your exit strategy. Nobody says it has to be immediate. Maybe you had some things that you had planned that you want to take advantage of before. Then make it work for you. And then if you want to say goodbye, then you say goodbye. I'm here for you. I just wanted to put that out there. I just want to reinforce the fact that it's a business. We're not their children. We're not their family. And the family that you may have in Scentsy, are those people that you've met that you have a connection with. Like we say in the wax community here, how many people haven't we met doing videos that we communicate with, that we're friends with, that, I don't talk a lot because I'm an introvert and I just don't do it. But that doesn't mean I don't think of you as a friend. Those are the people who are like your family in the business. Other than that, it's just a business, and we have to remember to make our decisions based on what's best for us. We can try really hard to keep asking them to change their minds about the commission, but don't be surprised if they don't. How many of you, just another one little example, because I've seen it in payroll. You see somebody who Friday afternoon is packing up their stuff because they just got let go. I guarantee you they knew way before then that person was leaving. How many times haven't we said, you expect a 2 weeks notice, but you don't give me 2 weeks, right? Chances are I've known of people who they knew, and not at the current company, way back, right? Where they knew at least since the Monday at the beginning of the week, and they worked that person all week long to get as much as they could from them, and then they let them go. Don't forget that kind of stuff. Make sure you know who your friends are and who is just there to see what they can get from you. Anyways, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be negative, as they say. I'm trying to be a realist and make you, or give you my perspective. You don't have to believe me. It's, I want you to think for you and what's best for you. And I just wanted to share my thoughts. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.